Welcome back, everybody. It's Matt, the guy from Global, and the room is buzzing at the 2021 Global Industrial National Trade Show here in Nashville, Tennessee. But if you couldn't join us in person this year, don't sweat it. We're bringing the show right to you. And with me now is Richard Leeds, Executive Chairman of Global Industrial. Richard, great to see you, my friend. Welcome back. It's great to be back, isn't it, right, Nashville?
It's great to be here and to be out in public.
Amen.
It's been a heck of a 2 years, let me tell you that.
Okay.
We're very glad to be here, though.
Well, I remember our conversation in 2019, all the way back an eon ago. So it's good to have you back. So you've been with the company now almost 40 years already, huh?
Almost, well, yeah, maybe a year or two over 40. But yeah, it's been quite a ride. I don't know if you really know the history, but yeah.
Just a little.
So the business started by my father and dad, my father and my uncle 71 years ago as a small material handling dealer in the tri-state area of New York. And we kind of grew it to being this, and it's been a fun ride, I got to tell you.
Well, whatever water you're using is pretty good fertilizer for growth. So earlier this year, the company changed its legal name to Global Industrial with a new ticker symbol of GIC. And at the time, I remember you said, I keep all these quotes locked up in my memory, you said, this is an exciting day in the history of the company and one that unites the entire organization. So with your long tenure and history with the company and your unique vantage point, tell us a little bit about the excitement as it relates to what feels like a final piece of bridging the realization of the company's ideas and ideals that, as you said, began over 70 years ago.
So we went through a period where we were in the computer business as well as being in the industrial business. And the computer business took a turn that where it was really more turned towards more manufacturers as opposed to distributors. And so we got out of that business and concentrated on our core, okay, which is the industrial business and our passion, quite honestly. I mean, it's hard to develop computers without being Intel, okay, but we certainly could develop industrial products. And that's what our core is, and that's what our passion is. And I always go back to that word passion when I'm talking about the company and what sets us apart from our competition. We're so passionate about product and how the customers use it and interact with it, and the touch and the feel and the quality is just a different type of passion that we have about product versus our competition.
Well, it shows. I mean, I've worked with you guys now for a few years, and every time I pick up a Global product, I can tell just by holding it, like you said, that it's just a little bit better than the one you get, down the street at the big box stores. So with that in mind, the past year saw a lot of great expansion for your private labels. Now, can you tell us a little bit about how this is helping better serve your customers?
Absolutely. So one of our core philosophies that we have about private label is that we add an extra chip into the cookie. All right, and the concept of a chip in a cookie is, basically Chips Ahoy has, 6 chips in it. We always want to have that 7th chip. And when we're looking at an industrial product, we sit there and say, okay, what extra item can we put into this that's going to make it better, more convenient, safer, whatever it is that makes it better for the customer to use that item.
Right on. Now, you got a ton of labels, too, in areas like material handling. You have storage and shelving solutions, outdoors and ground maintenance, safety, of course. And it's not just expanding, but wow, it's expansive. So what are some that you'd like to highlight for us this year?
So right now we introduced the Cat brand of scrubbers, which is a tremendous amount of excitement at the show here today. Gorgeous looking product, but the feature set on the scrubbers are way above what any competition has, quite honestly, at a fraction of the price. I was just talking to a customer this morning who bought a Tenant machine a few days ago. Okay, he jumped the gun before coming to the show. All right, literally paid like twice what we would be charging him for a machine. I mean, that's the difference. Okay, and all the difference is that they're paying for a Tenant name versus a Cat name. The quality is the same, if not better.
Nice.
So.
Now, what does private label growth look like in the next year or so? And how is it set up to help your customers and vendors specifically?
So we have a very large pipeline of product. It's been a little bit more difficult to do in COVID because you can't travel to go to the factories and work with them on this. But we're coming out of that now, and I think that'll accelerate as we come out of COVID. Same as for everybody else. I mean, look here, this is a trade show where most people had to travel to, and I'm frankly surprised how many people came.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really amazing. But the product line that we have is very expansive, very exciting. When we look at trying to decide what product to do a private label of, it's not only that we look at it and we say, oh, let's go do the bigger sellers, okay, which was, anybody could figure that out. What we also look to do is, let's look for the items that we think are too expensive in the marketplace, but could, at the right price, have a wider appeal. So we'll go and we'll find a product and we'll say, okay, this thing sells for $100. If we could go and make it a private label item and sell it for $50, would we have enough sales to justify doing it? And that's what we're into today, is trying to find those products where a better value is what the customer is looking for.
Well, if you'll indulge me a little bit, I'd like to circle back to the Caterpillar brand you were talking about. I'm just as excited about it as everybody else. You mentioned floor scrubbers. What are some of the other products you're carrying with the Cat label on there?
So we've done 3 different shop vacs, all right, wet-dry vacuums. Shop vacs is a brand name who went now out of business.
We'll just edit that one right out.
Yeah, right. We'll take that out. Okay, but it's a generic term now. Yeah. But they're wet dry. 3 different wet dry vacs, and they're like you talk about, like we always talk about the extra chip in the cookie. They're stainless steel, but then we put a coating on them that makes it even better. My line about stainless steel is that it's stainless, not stain-proof steel.
Right.
Okay. So we put a coating on it so that there'll be never any chance, because it's a wet dry vac, there'll never be any chance of any corrosion.
Nice.
All right. So that's really like one of the extra chips in the cookies. The other extra chips in the cookies, when you go look at the products, we get all these tools that come with it. But tool storage on wet dry vacs is a big problem. Like, where do you put all these little pieces? Right?
They always fall off on the other ones, yeah.
So we made sure that we have a spot for every item,
Nice.
okay, that locks in and is secure. So that's the other extra chip in the cookie, because that's such an annoyance, like you said, all those little pieces. Such an annoyance when you have that product.
I got one of those on my my Christmas list this year myself, as a matter of fact. Now, last year, 2 years ago, but last time we spoke, talked about the philosophy of yours when it comes to looking after your customers' needs, the extra chip in the cookie, as you've been talking about. So remind us a little bit about that and how Global Industrial embraces that sweet or semi-sweet philosophy.
So, one of the humorous things that I do is called the chairman's test. Okay, so I'll take a product. Let's go back to the shop vac, the wet dry vacs. I'll take that product and I'll throw it down the stairs.
Nice.
Okay, and I'll see how it survives going down the stairs. I'll get it, I'll wet it. I'll dunk it in water, and we'll say, okay, let's let it sit outside in the sun and see what happens to it, and see if actually our corrosion proof is corrosion proof. Or even better, we'll send it to a lab and do a salt spray test on it. So a salt spray test is just what it sounds like. Basically, they put it in a room with a sprinkler, and they're shooting salt water at it, because that's the most corrosive thing that there is.
Right.
And we'll run that for hundreds of hours and to see if the thing corrodes.
Nice. I think we need to incorporate the chairman test into a series of TikTok videos. Let's put that on the list, too. That sounds really cool. Well, listen, Richard, it's been a real pleasure getting to catch up a little bit more and hear about even more partnerships and happenings in the works for Global Industrial.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Really exciting, Kyle. Thanks so much. Exciting is the perfect word, isn't it? One thing I'm beyond excited about is I keep talking about those Cat branded floor scrubbers. So, Richard, before you leave, I think I could get on one of those and drive it around the floor here today, show everybody how cool they are, or is that going to be a no?
I think for you, Matt, we could set that up.
Okay. All right, that's what I like to hear. Okay, everybody clear the floor. I'm getting on the scrubber.
No, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Thanks, pal. We'll see you on the floor. Have a great show, buddy.
Thank you.
Cheers. And thank you all for joining us here at the Global Industrial National Trade Show. We've got more great things coming at you, so check us out on youtube.com/Global Industrial to see all the action.